Oh, okay. Hello, and welcome to something a little bit different. That kind of ruins the lighting. Hold on, let me just... how is that? Oh, that's better. Okay, that makes it look a lot cooler. Nice, okay, perfect. So I've been trying to find a way to work this topic into a video for a while. It's never been able to work, so I figured I'd just make a video just about this one feature of a game you've probably played, Metal Gear Solid, or Metal Gear Rising. Revengeance. Now, at first I was thinking of doing this like a chicken run sort of deal, but I thought that'd be dumb, so I just want to do it super casually, almost as if it were a stream, but not a stream because I don't want to stream this. But I made lunch, I'm just gonna eat and do this. So here's what we're having. I've got some garlic rice I made garlic rice. What I mean is that I mostly seasoned it with like garlic powder instead of salt and stuff. So it's some garlic rice with 2 orange bell peppers, put a little bit of chicken in it. What I did, you probably never heard of this, but if you take hummus, if you have like a creamy hummus, like a processed hummus, you can kind of take it and just like dump it into something hot, and it'll kind of melt and turn into a cream. So that's kind of what I did. If you can see, it just kind of adds a lot of volume to everything. It makes it look really, you know, it adds some protein to your meal. It makes you full. I haven't eaten anything else today, so I'm just gonna go crazy on this. I've got an apple. I'm gonna have fun with that, and I didn't want to do what I normally do, so I'm doing Uzo the right way this time. I've tried this once before, and I kind of failed. I didn't put enough. I think I might have put a little bit too much this time. But basically, apparently the proper way to drink Uzo is to put it in a tall glass, just put a little bit, and then fill the rest with water and ice cubes. So that's what we have. And you know you have the right thing when you have that milky consistency. So that's what we've got. So yeah, we got the right flavor, so I think that's good. That'll just open me up both in the sorts of things I'll be talking about, and my reactions to things, and also my sinuses because I've had a cold since the Final Fantasy video. This is also, look at how gross my beard is now. This is what editing that Final Fantasy video does to a man. So without further ado, I'm gonna put this in my PlayStation 3. I should have probably done that already, and I'm gonna set up recording, and we're gonna have a good time. And we are ready to rumble. Huh? Let me clap. Clap, clap, clap. Switch. Clap, clap, clap. Switch. See, that might look stupid to you, but I'm just making sure that my computer isn't also recording the audio from that. So, while the game boots up, basically, you could probably tell from the title of this video, I'm going to probably call it why Metal Gear Rising is completely broken, or why the parrying system in Metal Gear Rising sucks, or something like that. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Just one feature in Metal Gear Rising that kind of, for me, ruined the entire game. So to those of you who might not know, basically what a parry is in a fighting game or a beat 'em up sort of game like this is a move where you block an enemy, but then you also kind of launch a counter attack against them, and that's kind of what all of the blocks in Metal Gear Rising kind of automatically do. You block, and then if you press the button again, you'll automatically parry. So it's really, you just call it parrying, you don't call it blocking. So let's see, I think there's a training mode where you actually just practice parrying. I'm gonna try to look for that, see if we can just do that. Okay, so this is what basic combat in the game looks like. We'll talk about that first, actually. So you basically go up to guys and you just press either the square or triangle button. I'm using the pink controller because later I'm gonna show you some controller stuff and I want you to be able to tell what the joysticks are doing. But so you basically just press these buttons and you win. You move around with with this thumbstick, so as long as you're moving in a certain direction and you're pressing your attack, you'll be attacking in that direction. Oh, here we go. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about parrying. So he's going to tell me you gotta... Okay, so first follow the direction of your enemy's attack and parry those attacks by executing light attacks of your own in the same direction. So parrying is done with the same button as light attacks, this button right here. I'm just gonna try to get around this guy. So basically, if you point at a guy and you do an attack, it's just like that, just as you saw. Raiden runs up to the guy and he does an attack. But if the guy is attacking you, then you will automatically parry. So I'm gonna show you this. So I'm gonna do it. There we go. There goes the parry and the attack. I'm not gonna slice him up just yet, but that's what happened. Okay, I'm gonna just let this guy run around, but here's where the problem lies. So if you give the game the parry command, which, I'm gonna pause this, is you take this thumbstick and you point up and you press square at the same time. If you do that and the enemy is about to attack you, you will parry. However, if you do that and the enemy is not attacking, you will just execute a normal attack. Now, normally the way blocks and counters and stuff work in other games is that you need to be extremely skilled to use them. If you use a counter and you didn't use it at the appropriate time, you will fail and you will become vulnerable to your enemy's attack. Whereas in Metal Gear Rising, if you fail a parry, you still do a normal attack. You don't lose anything. So if you consider that for a second, that means that there is no reason not to always parry, because when you need it, it'll work, and when you don't need it, you'll still do something meaningful. So like in game theory, if you took that, like, the square of, what is it, benefits, I forget what it's called, it has a name, like when you're doing like the prisoner's dilemma or like the sportsman's question or whatever, you get that square that has your available moves, your enemy's available moves. Oh, that's how you lock on. I just realized how to lock on. But you have your available moves, your enemy's available moves, and you look at the benefit to you and benefit to your enemy of each situation. In this case, we're just going to look at ourselves. I'm going to put up the graph, the square. I'll put up what it's called too in this thing. But the issue is that if you look at that, the best strategy is always to parry. There's no reason to do any other attacks. I mean, the only reason is that it looks cool and maybe that gives you value, but when I'm playing a game, you know, I want to have fun, but I also want to succeed. So once you learn this strategy, you always want to use it. It becomes the dominant strategy because it's the best strategy to use all the time. There's no reason not to parry at all times during this game. If you do, you actually can become invincible. The only challenge becomes making sure that you're pointing in the direction of your enemy, which likely you are, because it's really easy to do that. You just have to point the camera at them. You can even lock on. I didn't even remember that you could lock on to enemies in this game, but you just lock on to a guy and you just do this. You block, and then you just play the game like this. You just play the game like this. I'm pointing at the guy and that's it. The only challenge is having to rotate my thumb while I'm flicking it. You play the game just like that. It's really sad. That's crap. You never want to have a dominant strategy in a game. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We are going to go back to the title screen of the game, and we're gonna actually play a story mission. So, while that's happening, let me tell you, when I first got Metal Gear Rising, you know, I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan. There was some hesitation, but I ended up liking it. It was a pretty good action game. I was like, this is fun. I hadn't played an action game in a long time. I was in a rut of just like first-person shooters and stuff, so you know, it was good. The first half of the game was great, and that was because, honestly, playing it on what I think I was playing on normal difficulty. On that difficulty, you basically just didn't really need to parry at all. So what happened was, I got to the point where you're in the sewers. Let's see if I can find that chapter, actually. So in that chapter, you fight these giant, like, gorilla dudes, and you basically, you can't kind of do the no parry. You need to learn how to parry. So I was like, okay, it's finally time to learn how to parry. Because at that point, I had never actually done it. I didn't actually understand how it worked. So I looked into the instructions. It's like, oh, okay, that's how you parry. So I learned how to parry. And when I learned how to parry, that's when I realized that this thing was extremely exploitable. So let's just start a game. Let's start a good mission where you fight a lot of dudes. Okay, so we're going to play this chapter because I actually want to show you what it does with this boss. Okay, so if you've watched any of my other videos, you've probably heard about this, but when I was younger, I had a job as a game tester, and when this game came out, I think I had just come out of that job, and you know, low-level game testing, just looking for all sorts of bugs. Game testing is not what you think it is. There's like procedures to it and stuff. Manual game testing I'm talking about, not automatic, but yeah, it's just kind of like doing that job constantly puts you into a certain mindset, and for a long time it was hard for me to enjoy games because I was always just executing that procedure whenever I played a game, and I was finding tons of issues in a lot of games. It was really just hard to enjoy them. And Metal Gear Rising, I was having a good time. It's just really simple fun. I didn't find anything considerably broken in the game until I learned how to parry. So I learned how to parry, and then, you know, the game tester in me was like, well, okay, now I know this new technique. How can I apply this to other situations? How can I exploit this? Because that was one of the things I do a lot at my job. How can I take advantage of a really simple thing? How can I take it to the next level? And I realized that, you know, when you're fighting in the game, you're always moving towards an enemy. So let's just skip this crap. So normally, like, I'm gonna run around here, right? When you want to attack a guy, you run towards the guy, you run towards him, and then you attack. So you're just pointing towards him and you're tapping this button. And I was like, well, if I tap the stick at the same time, it'll have the same effect. So what if I just run up to the guy and I just continue doing this, because then I'll parry when I want to, and then at all other times I'll just attack and it doesn't even matter. Look at that, look, there's a parry. Boom, I just destroyed everybody. So I took a little bit of damage before. Let's just get myself to full health, because, you know what, actually, let's restart this. We're going to show you something really impressive. Okay, so it appears as though you can only play missions on the difficulty that you've already played. You can only replay missions at the same difficulty as you've already played them once. and I guess I just didn't bother with the very hard mode past the second mission. So we're going to play the second mission on very hard mode, and I'm going to show you something very, very interesting. So in any other game, you should be able to assume that this mode will be very difficult. There will be all sorts of challenges. So what I want you to keep an eye on is right up there, my health says 190%. That's kind of weird. Anyways, it says 190%. That's my maximum health. Now, watch how far I can go throughout this game without taking a single bit of damage in very, very hard mode by just simply doing the same thing I was showing you before. Oh, well, I probably shouldn't have done that on the bridge. But by doing the same thing I was talking about before. Instead of just walking forward and attacking, and instead of using heavy attacks because they're total crap anyways, all I'm going to do is go up to enemies and tap both the control stick and the attack button in the same direction at the same time, continuously, and become completely invincible throughout this entire game. Watch my health. Watch that 190 up there. Watch that. How do I, watch how hard this is. Look, 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 bam! Deflecting every attack. Nobody can hit me. I'm completely invincible. I'm just gonna slice this guy to bits. I don't even need the health. I don't even freaking need the health from him because I'm unstoppable. All I have to do is point my freaking stick in their direction and I am unstoppable in the hardest difficulty of the freaking game. The battery is low for my controller. Literally, the most difficult part of this game is going to be keeping my battery alive. Okay, so now that guy hit me because I didn't see him. So like I was saying, the only challenge now, once you learn this trick, is just getting the camera to actually face the enemy. And I guess there are some gimmicky attacks that, well, I totally failed what I was trying to do. But, okay, so I was going to actually get into this later. I wanted to get to some projectile enemies, but I was going to mention that, so really, this technique kind of allows you to block all of the basic attacks of all enemies. Wow, except for that. Except for any sort of gimmicky attack. So any attack where the enemy flies off screen, or any enemy who has a projectile attack, or anytime an enemy, like, freaking shoots, or what is it, grabs you or something. So this guy's going to grab me now, so that's the yellow light. So I think it's the red light that indicates like a normal attack. Any attack of that variety, I'll be able to block no matter what. So this guy's, yeah, there you go. There's the red attack, I blocked him, and now he's totally gone. I'm going to cut his arm off, and it's over, you know? So that one I could block too. So the yellow attack, that's where you have to dodge. Is there like a dodge button, or do you just run in this game? Honestly, I don't remember. Yeah, that guy wrecked me. Okay, he's got the red light, so... yeah, it's... so, with an attack like that, it's like really... okay, I'm dead, actually. Look at that. Okay, maybe hard mode is kind of hard. Let's try that again. I am eating. Let's try that again. I'm gonna focus... oh, I forgot! I can lock onto the guy. Why aren't I locking onto the guy? If I did that, it'd probably be super easy. Okay, let's try this again. So, guy pops out. The gorilla's gonna pop up from behind him. Oh, here we go. Block everyone. Slice him up. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there. Oh, the guy grabbed me. Smash. This guy, okay, this attack is really bugging me. But, jeez! Okay. How do you, isn't there just like a dodge? Okay, you know what, enough of this crap. I'm dead, okay. Really having a hard time proving my point now. So, okay, you know what? We're gonna try something else. This is failing on me so hard. We're gonna try hard mode. I want to get to Monsoon, because I think that guy's name is Monsoon. I want to get to Monsoon because I want to show you how trivial it makes the boss fight. Because it does work in the boss fights. I remember that. Okay, so a bunch of guys coming after me. Look at that! Wow, how hard was that? Smash, smash, smash. Kill him. Wow. Again, keep the on the 190. I think the enemies in this chapter are less gimmicky. They don't... well, there are some guys I know who have projectile attacks later, but they're mostly easy to fight. But see, look, like, all you gotta do... because Raiden will automatically focus on certain enemies, so you can tell what direction he's facing. All you gotta do is point the control stick in the direction that Raiden is facing, and you're automatically parry attacking everybody, and it doesn't even... like, it's not even fun, you know what I mean? Okay, that guy had a projectile attack, so he wrecked me, but... oh, look, more enemies. Look at this. Look how easy this is going to be. Oh, okay, I messed up. But, look. Okay, I'm parrying. He's parrying, then I parry, and then I just go back to attacking. Then he's gonna attack me. He threw a grenade, but I don't even care because I'm invincible right now because my health is gonna stay at 122.8. Look, he's attacking, and I'm just parrying, and now I'm attacking again. And like, so you do the same combination of buttons, the same input can give you two different outputs. This input of pressing the control stick and pressing the light attack button can either be a defensive technique or an offensive technique. So yeah, the gorilla guys kind of ruin it, and yeah, there is still some skill involved, but this is mostly a completely dominant strategy. Oh my god, because here's the problem. Once you discover this technique, oh look, it's the dog. So once you discover this technique, it becomes extremely hard to use anything but this technique. And then when the game asks you to use something other than this technique, when it doesn't work, for example on the gorilla guys, you don't feel power. Like you forgot how to play the game. Like these guys are going to be great. These guys have projectiles actually, but they also have physical attacks. So look at this, bam, block. Like I even care. Look at this, bam. This guy's a giant mech with all sorts of weapons, and now I can just cut off his freaking, look at this, I'm cutting off these shields. Look at that. My health is going to stay at this 122.8, I guarantee it. So, boom, boom, boom. Giant super enemy boss guy, well, mini boss, well, not really, just a really tough enemy. Didn't even get a single hit on me. This guy is going to get some hits on me because he's using his projectile, but as soon as I get in close, and I don't even care about the camera, I know exactly where he is, blocking every attack, and now I'm back on the offense. And now he's going to attack me. Watch this. No? See, the trick to showing this sort of thing off is when you're fighting a very stable enemy, an enemy with a lot of, what do you call it? What do you call them Dark Souls when you don't get knocked over very easily? I forget what I'm trying to say. But if you can hit the guy and he doesn't respond, you can see this thing happening. So right there, two very large, tough enemies destroyed, and the only damage I took was from bullets. I didn't take any damage from the physical attacks, and this is a beat-em-up game. You're supposed to be taking damage from physical attacks as often as possible. Well, when you take damage, it should be from physical attacks. So, oh no, to parry the bullets, you have to go into ninja mode, right? And then you can dodge the bullets, right? Let's see if you run, you'll start deflecting the bullets. That's dumb. Why can't you also parry the bullets? And how am I deflecting bullets that are coming at me from behind? That's dumb. Oh man, you know what? This rice is pretty good, man. I'm also playing the game for myself. It's muted on my TV, so I'm not even hearing anything. I don't even have any audio cues. I'm just using visual cues to play this entire game. And I'm going to succeed pretty well, I believe. Now my health is at 184. Let's see how long I can keep it like that. Oh look, a gecko. A very difficult enemy. Look at that. I blocked his attack like it was nothing. Like it was a joke. You know, what I wish they had done maybe on the harder difficulty, because I'm going to complain about this, but if I can come up with a solution, then I can really complain about it. So a solution to this would have been maybe on the harder difficulty. On the easier difficulties, I understand that this sort of thing could definitely be there. It could definitely help people out. And it, you know, it makes the game interesting. It's not fun at all, but it's definitely interesting. I realized I should stop like recovering health so that you could really see that the health doesn't change very much. I'm not even focusing on this guy. But yeah, maybe what they could do, because look at how long I'm blocking for before he finally hits. Like maybe what they could have done on the harder difficulties, if they could either have, well, they could have done two things. They can, number one, this would have, oh, I should have not collected that health, I'm an idiot. But what they could have done, first of all, was they could have, oh, these guys are gimmicky too. God, can I just finish my sentence? So what they could have done is they could have made it so that your time to parry is a lot shorter. Well, that wouldn't have even helped either, because what I'm thinking is maybe they could have made it, yeah, you know what, that would have worked. That would have worked. They could have made it so that, well, no, it wouldn't work because you would go into an attack anyways. What I'm trying to think is, like, maybe they can make it so that your window to parry is shorter. You can only parry right before an attack on a harder difficulty, right? That'd be cool. But that still doesn't work because you're still flicking. So even if you parry at a time that in normal difficulty it would work, but on harder difficulty it wouldn't, on the harder difficulty you'll just attack. And then on your second little tap of the button, you would do a parry anyway, so that wouldn't solve the issue anyways. Basically, the issue is that you have defensive and offensive strategies applied to the same combination of buttons, to the same input. You're doing the same exact thing, and you're either attacking or defending. So if you just keep doing this, the game will play itself. That's kind of what's happening. So let's just get on. I want to get to the boss fight. Oh, there's a guy in this box, isn't there? Yeah, there's a guy in this box. How did I know that? Well, he's not really, he's more like a sandwich now. Okay, so now, back to full health, 190%. These two guys are melee guys. Now, watch me just take them out like it's nobody's business. Block, 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 attack, attack, attack. See you later. Block. Look, right there, from attacking to blocking, like it's nobody's business. This is fun, huh? This is video games, huh? This is video games. This is fun. This is an interactive entertainment thing. This is software. Well, this. You've boiled down combat into this. Once you figure this out, you don't want to do anything else. What? You've got to jump? That's so dumb. No! This is literally harder than the combat. Getting to jump. Because if you go too far, Raiden automatically does this little animation that prevents you from jumping. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, now, watch how hard this is. Look. We're at 190 health. I'm blocking a guy I'm not even looking at because I don't even care. Look, block, block, block. Now it's my turn. Attack, 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 block. Attack, block. The fence is falling. I don't even give a crap. And you can block multiple people. It's like... Okay, let's try to come up with a solution to this. A solution that really works. Well, here's the problem. You don't want... I get what they're going for. They wanted it to be... Let's just kill this guy. They wanted it to be fast-paced, right? They wanted it to be fast-paced. If they made a parrying system like Dark Souls... You can't do that in a fast-paced game because people would complain. Because the problem with a parrying system like Dark Souls is that it takes too much time. First of all, the parry needs to be timed extremely well, and if you fail to parry, you need to become vulnerable. Oh my god, I have the hiccups now. So, if it was like Dark Souls and you become vulnerable, you'd just be sitting there, that would slow down the action. You're not supposed to just get distracted. You're Raiden, you know? So maybe, you definitely need to... Why am I cutting this? You definitely need to map blocking and parrying to another button. You have to. You can't let the same input give you two completely different outputs. You can't do that. What you could do maybe is you could, because you don't want to slow it down. You don't want that vulnerability in your character, right? Because he's like a super ninja. How do I get there? So you don't want that. So maybe what you could have done, or maybe what you could, I'm not talking to, maybe what could have been done, this is obviously... This is the problem. Whenever you recommend a solution to a game, you have to realize how big in scope that is compared to what's actually there, and you have to consider whether or not it's actually feasible within the time frame. Because anytime you add complexity to a game, you're being unrealistic. You never want to add complexity. Oh, I forgot about these enemies. These guys are a cakewalk because they don't have any projectile attacks. Well, these guys do. Let me just... Okay, so he's got one of those yellow attacks that you can't block, but that's okay because I don't give a crap. So this guy is just a matter of getting up close, doing that, and then whenever he turns yellow, and normally the yellow attacks are very, like, they're very well telegraphed, but they're also, they take a long time to charge up, so you have plenty of time to dodge those yellow attacks. So like I was saying, maybe what they could have done, you don't want to slow it down, and I'm adding complexity here, so this is unfeasible, this is not an appropriate solution. Maybe what they could have done is you have a separate parrying button. You press that to parry, and attacks are extremely well telegraphed, as they are, but when you parry, you have to parry right before... is this guy still alive? Yeah, he is. So when you parry, you have to parry right before the enemy... Did that guy just disappear? Jeez, this game is like ridiculous. Everything's distracting me. So, you have to parry right before the enemy attacks, but if you mess up, if you parry too early or... If you parry too late, you'll just get hit by the attack. If you parry too early, then what they could do is... Ooh, that would work. If they parry too early, then what you could do is the enemy could launch a counterattack, because that's what makes you vulnerable. It's the parry itself. So if the parry succeeds, you go right into your counterattack and you launch it right away. It's super good. If the parry is too late, the enemy attacks you, so it's still fast-paced action. And if the parry is too early, the enemy launches a crazy attack against you, so you're still seeing action. Nothing's slowing down. That's the solution that I would recommend if I were able to recommend that. But of course, that adds complexity to the game. That's not something that's feasible, so that's a bad solution. So anytime you hear somebody say, because I love to hear that when people say like, this feature is so broken, I wish they had this feature instead, which is more complex for XYZ main reasons and would have taken like an extra 3 months to freaking develop. And it's like, yeah, okay, great. It's great that you were able to come up with a feature that is more impressive than this. Yeah, sure. But when they made the game, they probably had a certain time frame in mind, and they probably thought of what you're thinking of, but they realized that it's not. It was way outside of their scope. So they kind of avoided that. That's probably what happened. Why am I fighting a helicopter in a beat-em-up game, dude? Like, see, that's maybe a little bit unfair, because they give you this parrying move, but then they give you guys who go really far away from you and they can shoot you. Like this guy who's in the sky shooting you. And you can't do anything to fight this guy, because the only way to block bullets is to do this move, right? Where you run really fast and all of the bullets just kind of get deflected by you somehow. But you can't do that when you're up close. So you're fighting a guy up close, and then dudes are coming at you. So what? You're supposed to prioritize these guys and then fight the big guy? Like, why can't you just group everyone together? Like, why do you even have to do this? You know what I mean? Like, this is so dumb. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard to get this perfect health thing. So there's a guy up there. Okay, so if I can stay away from him, I can focus on these guys. So these guys are all melee dudes. So, okay, so I'm at 179. I took a hit because I wasn't paying attention. So, 179, watch this. 3 guys like it's nothing. Boom. You just gotta always face them. That's all you gotta do. You just face them. You just face them. Bam. Gone. Bam. See ya. Look at that. You're just attacking, and now this guy's gonna attack. I block, 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 and I kill him. Dead. Look at that. Very difficult, this game. Very challenging. This is a very challenging game. You know what? While we're here, let's talk about some other stuff while I'm playing this crap. Did I miss an enemy? No? You know what? That sucks. When you're done and you're just like, let me go, let me go. Like, I don't care about these statistics. I just want to go. I just want to proceed. I just want to move forward. Look, another one of these super ninjutsu police officers. So, let's talk about something. You know what I've noticed? There's a lot of people out here on the web. Wow, that was a very difficult move to dodge. So there's a lot of people out here on the web. And a lot of people... whoa! Ah, dang it. A lot of people make game reviews. So I made that game ratings video a little while ago, right? And in that video, I talked about professional reviewers who split games up into different categories and review all those categories separately, like gameplay, story, music, graphics, stuff like that. And I talked about how silly I think that is, and I don't think that's something that really anybody disagrees with. And that got a lot of pretty good reception. Everybody liked that. It had nothing to do with the main video. I don't even know why I talked about that, but and I still think that that's a major sin for professional game reviewers. But there's something I've noticed that a lot of maybe more amateurish game reviewers do that I don't know what's worse. I don't know if the splitting it up in... Well, because you split things up into these different categories, but when I read a sort of review like that, I can still get something out of it, and I can still determine whether or not I want to buy a game. But there's a practice that, like I was going to say, a lot of more amateur game reviewers will do that I don't really agree with, and it just kind of... It frustrates me, you know? I don't want to sound like a cocky prick, but like... Let me explain. Let me take a little bit of this and then explain. Okay, so the Uzo is telling me that basically sometimes you're watching a video, right? And it's titled, you know, Game X Review, okay? And the reviewer takes Game X, and the video is like 20 to 40 to 50 minutes long even. And you start up the review, and it's like, hey everybody, just want to let you know I want to start this review on this game, and you're like, okay, great, 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 great. And they're like, okay, so let's take a look at this game, and you're like, okay, cool, let's take a look at it. And then they start, and they're like, so the game begins with da 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 da. That's a mistake right there. As soon as you hear, so the game begins. As soon as you hear that, and you know what, let's not go there right away, but you hear, so the game begins, and then the entire review is just kind of an explanation of the story of the game. It's an explanation of the progression of the game. People just start explaining exactly what happens in the game. It's not a review, it's a summary. And that's really dangerous, guys. So you'll watch this video and it's like it's God knows how long you're watching it, and the video doesn't have any opinions. It's not a reflection piece. It's not a piece of review. It's just a summary. It's a summary where, you know, they'll be like, so in level 1 you do this, so in level 2 you do this, so in level 3 you do this, so in level 4 you do this. And then every once in a while you'll hear something like, this part of level 4 is kind of dumb, and you're like, okay, there's some legit criticism. And that's kind of what the review is about. The review is about the criticisms you have. It's about telling me whether or not I should buy the game. So if you made a review, here's the rule of thumb, I think, for a review. Here's the rule of thumb. I think if you make a review, this is advice for I personally don't think I make reviews. So this is advice for review. This is what I want, because I watch reviews, I read reviews. This is the most critical piece of information I want from a review. After I've watched a review, I want to know whether or not I should buy the game. I want to know if I'm interested in it or not. So if you're producing a review, you should think about it. Once it's complete, you should look at it and say, can this review help someone make that decision? Can this review help someone decide whether or not they'd be interested in the game? If you're summarizing the game for me, I don't need to buy the game. In fact, if I bought the game after your summary, I'm an idiot, because the whole thing's been ruined for me anyways. What I want, and what everybody wants, is legitimate comments about the game. We want to know what you thought about the game, what you thought about these different pieces. You don't need to tell the story in chronological order. You can. If you're doing like an analysis, it makes sense to do it like this. If you're doing an analysis of the game, it makes sense to maybe follow the structure of the game in order to comment on things. So you could talk about the beginning of the game and then continue on to the end of the game, and as you're running into things, you're explaining them. If there's a theme you want to talk about that the game does pretty well, you could talk about the game from the beginning, and then once you get to a certain point, you can be like, you've probably noticed that this is great. That's good. That's good structure of your review. What am I watching? What am I doing, by the way? Is this where you fight Monsoon? Like, what the heck? But like that's what matters in a review, guys. Like, if you made a review and all you did is tell me exactly what happens in the game, that's not a review, that's a summary, and I'm not going to buy the game. Don't call it a review if you're not reviewing it. Don't call it a critique if you're not critiquing it. Don't call it an analysis if you're not analyzing it. If you're just saying what happens, it's a summary. It's like you've probably done this in high school. I think I did it in high school. I did it a lot in college too, and in my university I didn't do it. But in university I had a technical writing class, so actually we did do it a couple of times in university. I did it more in college though, because I had another technical writing class in college, and it was a little bit more intensive. It was weird actually, but so in college, and you know what, you're probably freaking out because I'm using college and university as if they're two different things, and where you come from they might be the same thing. Where I come from, they are two very different things, college and university. High school is 5 years, for example, so that'll just kind of let that sink into you. So why am I watching a cutscene? So what I'm trying to say is that in college we would do summaries. So you take an article, so you have two different sort of pieces. Sometimes the professor would give you a reading and then say, give me a summary of this reading. And sometimes the professor would give you a paper to paper or a reading or whatever, and they would tell you to reflect on it. To take, I'm doing that right now in my what's the class called? Impact of Technology on Society. Every week you have a couple of readings you have to do. Sometimes it's a documentary you have to watch, and then I think it's like every 2-3 weeks you have to write a reflective piece. You have to take all the readings, all of the topics from them, pick an idea that interests you, and come up with an argument, and come up with reasons to back up that argument, and just, you know, it's a reflective piece. You took all this information and you're reflecting on this and you're formulating an opinion. The professor actually for this class explicitly says this is, oh actually I think that was really sad. I think in this part that I just did, what's happening is you're hearing all of the thoughts of the guys that you're fighting, and it's supposed to make you feel really depressed, and you don't want to fight them basically. but I have the game on mute, so I was just destroying these guys. That's really sad. Yeah, so my professor for this class, the course outline says very clearly, what the heck is this crap? So it says very clearly, this is supposed to be a reflection piece, not a summary. He doesn't just want you to explain the ideas, he wants you to come up with an opinion. The difference between a summary and a review is that a summary is just an explanation of what the game is. A review is a question as to whether or not the game is good, and if you haven't answered that question, because this is the thing, sometimes you'll watch like one of those really long reviews that's just a summary, you skip right to the end, and then the person kind of, they call it like a recap maybe sometimes, but that's where the review is. They'll be like, so the whole video is like, this is what happens throughout the whole game. They explain exactly what happens, you're like sitting there watching them for like God knows how long, and then the video ends, and then they're like, so just to recap, the game is really good. It's like, the game is really good? You never said that the whole rest of the time. You were just telling me exactly what happens. So, it's like, there's a lot of people who do this, and I've kind of done it. I've tried not to. When I started, I think I did that a little bit more. I think the first video I ever made, which was Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, the SpongeBob game, that game I did like that, but that was different because I might have called that review, but I really probably didn't mean to. I made a video about that game because I had never completed it as a kid, and I wanted to just get it done with, you know? And it just bothered me that I never did, so I did that video, and so it made sense just to do it in chronological order, because one of the problems with it was that there was a part that, as a child, that always halted my progression, so I wasn't going to sit there and tell you about all the things that were good or bad. I was going to play it, you know, procedurally. Yeah, I was going to play through it linearly and make the video very linear, very structured based on the structure of the game. Then what did I do? I did the conduit, and in the conduit I didn't do that because I didn't even complete the conduit. In the conduit, I had something specific I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about flow, and I wanted to talk about how those invisible ghost mines kind of destroyed the flow. That was what that's kind of what I've done throughout all these things. I take a game that I want to play, I play it, and then I come up with like, what is the central thing I want to talk about? What is the greatest part of the game, and what is the worst part of the game? And how can I explain these? I don't care about telling you what happens in the game. I want to tell you what's good and what's bad. If you're interested in buying the conduit and you hear me tell you that there are these stupid mines that you have to defuse, you think you're going into a first-person shooter, and now I just change your opinion of it, you don't want to buy the game anymore. I wasn't doing a review, but I reviewed it. Here's where it bugs me, you know, because this is where I said I'm going to sound like a cocky prick. I'm a content creator too. I make some stuff. People watch it. Good, you know. I'm happy with what I do. I'm proud of my work, I guess, and it's fun. Now I need some of this. So, and by the way, the boss fight is coming up, so as soon as I'm done talking here, I'll just go into the boss fight. Oh, is the battle starting already? Okay, maybe we'll get into this, and then I'll talk about this. So, back to the parrying system in Metal Gear Rising. So this guy's a really hard boss to fight. Why am I in Jack the Ripper mode? I don't want to be in Jack the Ripper mode. So basically, this guy comes at you, and he does this thing where this move where it gets all foggy, and he comes at you from all these different directions. At first, it took me a while to figure out what to do here, but then I realized all you gotta do is just freaking aim at him. As soon as you get the camera, as soon as you get your joystick facing him, you're parrying every one of his moves, and you can really avoid almost half of his, over half of his attacks. The majority of his attacks you can completely avoid. It's not even difficult at all. This is on hard mode. It's not very hard mode, it's hard mode. But I'm just murking this guy now. Look at this. Look, done. Now he's going to climb up this thing. Then it gets into a gimmick phase where he's going to throw rocks at me or something, right? Yeah, he's going to throw rocks at me. Here we go. Oh, a helicopter. I thought it was rocks. Wow. Okay, done. So here, look, I'm attacking. All my attacks are missing. Like, who cares? I'm not getting penalized for doing this, but I'm being rewarded for doing this. That's the thing. It's that you're not losing anything for doing this, and you're succeeding. You're benefiting for doing this. That's why this is a dominant strategy. That's really the basis of what a dominant strategy is. This is everything you don't want in the game, you know? That was dumb. See, right there I tried an alternative strategy, and I failed. And now I'm just going to go back to just waiting to see where he pops up and dodging every one of his attacks. Like, it's not even a problem. And it really is not a problem at all. Just keep an eye on my health bar. It's barely, well, it's going down now because I'm scratching my nose, but, Jesus. This gave me a hard time the first time because I still wasn't like used to parrying. It was around here that I probably learned like, oh, you really gotta freaking do this if you want to play this game. You know, you really gotta learn how to exploit this parry system. And I know that I'm not the only person who's found this. I know that after I found this, I started looking up videos of the game. I found somebody who made a video. This was like years ago. Like this was around when the game came out. I know somebody who made a video and talked about this. And I was like, dang, like it's completely broken. Like I'm not the only person. How does anybody really like this game? Like I like it. The game is fun. It's really hard for me to enjoy the game after I found this out because you just always want to do this one strategy, and most of the time it works. God dang it. It works for everything outside of these gimmicky attacks. The yellow attacks, it doesn't work for. Like this, it totally works for. That attack right there totally works. That's the great thing about this guy, because other than his gimmick move, which is throwing those helicopters and cars at you, every other attack can be totally blocked. So if you watch this clip later, you'll probably see me take damage during those parts. But if you look at my health bar, other than when I was scratching my nose before and stuff like that, you won't see me losing health while I'm just fighting his normal attacks, because I'm completely invincible to him. Completely invincible. Now what the heck is this crap? I don't want... No. Oh, you can block this too? Pour de vrai, man. Come on. You can block the giant spinning wheel of cars. Oh, dude, come on. Wait. This is inconsistent. How can you block the giant spinning wheel of cars, but you can't block the individual cars? That's the dumbest crap. The game teaches you that when the cars come, you gotta go into Zandatsu mode. You gotta block all these freaking attacks, right? But then it throws a bunch of cars, and now you're supposed to block. That's the dumbest crap I've ever seen. But then the guy shoots his little hand at you, and you're just blocking like, who cares, you know? And his head is floating around like it's a ghost. Man, it's such a dumb game. Wow, look at how hard this is. He's like attacking so fast. Like, blocking shouldn't be something that you can do while you're attacking. Blocking should be like you're either blocking or you're attacking. It should be like Dark Souls. You hold your shield up, you're blocking. You put your shield down, you can attack. You can't do both. This is the dumbest crap. I'm not even looking at him, but I can tell what direction he's in. Because there's so much room for, like, it gives you so much room for error. There's such like a wide area. Where's his head? Oh. There's such a wide area, because you don't have to point directly at him with the joystick. You can point just in his general direction and you're totally fine. So you're just it's not good. Look! That was bananas! It looks cool, great, but like I wish, you know, I have a triangle button. See how many buttons I have on this controller? See how many? I'm not even looking right now. Am I succeeding still? Oh, he's gonna throw one of those things at me. Yeah? You have all these buttons on your controller. You have all these buttons. And the only buttons that matter are this control stick. The only input things that matter are this control, except for this gimmick part. But yeah, the only things, oh god dang. The only things that matter are this joystick and this button. The triangle button, which gives like heavy attacks like this where you're doing this, it doesn't matter because it makes you vulnerable. Why would I use an attack that's heavy but makes me vulnerable? Yeah, there's supposed to be a trade-off, but it's not. It doesn't make that much of a difference, because this is, you know, I'm fighting a boss right now, right? I'm fighting a boss who has all these crazy attacks. It doesn't really matter. Like, if I hit him with the heavy attack, it's not going to do that much of a difference. Like, this guy takes 1,000,000 hits to kill anyways. And even on the weaker guys, it doesn't make much of a difference, ever. I'm just, look at that. No damage taken right there. Nothing. Look, bam, 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 block, 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 block. That's like 1,000,000 blocks. Still have not taken damage. He's attacked me at least like 100 times. And I have not taken damage at all. Go, 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 Zandatsu! Run, press 2 buttons, stab him really hard. Wow, he's dead. Kick him with your feet. Oh, Zandatsu! Oh my god. So that was easy as crap. Oh my god! So the game, the parry system, I mean, it's not as broken as I kind of started out saying it was, but it's pretty crap. So my problem with the whole people who make these reviews, but they're just There's summaries. This is what bugs me, and this might be a little bit controversial. So I was saying before, I make content too. I recently made a 57-minute video about 2 features in Final Fantasy. I made a 50-some-odd minute video about Metal Gear Solid 5. I didn't talk about the story. I talked about the ending, how crappy it was, but I didn't talk about the story. I mostly focused on the open world things. I was talking about the game. I was talking about what made the game good, what made the game bad. I wasn't talking about exactly what happened in the game. I wasn't summarizing. I also made, like a 35-minute video about Metabots, where I talked about just the partner system and how good it is. And I compared it to like Resident Evil 5. I made a video about Resident Evil 5 where I mostly talked about the partner system, I talked about the setting, I talked about things that just didn't work out well in that game. So like in my videos, like I try really, really hard not to summarize games, but to find things that are of interest and to talk about them in an interesting way, and hopefully, you know, maybe learn something myself and teach you something. That's my goal all the time. In that sense, the content I produce, the videos I make are my own content. I'm formulating my own ideas and I'm expressing them and I'm teaching them to you, right? Whereas somebody who just kind of takes a game and just says what happens in the game and, you know, adds little commentary, in that sense, you know, let's put it this way. People complain, you know, that like some of these game companies claim videos that use their content, you know? If you're really adding to the conversation about the game, I think that's wrong. But if all you're doing is summarizing it, you're really just using its content to create... like, your content is just an extension of its content. Your content isn't different than its content. You're not talking about it. Your content belongs to that game. Like, if it weren't for that game, you would have nothing to say. You're not adding anything new. And in that sense, I think that that's wrong. I think it's wrong to call those sorts of videos reviews. They should be called summaries. And it kind of bugs me when I'm looking for a review of a game and it's just a summary. How do you use this? That bugs me because here I am going bananas trying to figure stuff out, and then, you know, trying to come up with ideas to express and trying to apply all these different things to things, trying to model things out, and then, you know, and it takes me 50 minutes sometimes to do something, and then somebody else comes around and it takes them 50 minutes to just tell me what happened in the game, and like that's not what I'm looking for, you know. I don't want that. If you make a video about Metal Gear Rising, I don't want you to tell me the story of the game and what happened step by step. I want you to tell me about what you thought was good about Metal Gear Rising and what you thought was bad. If that video takes you 50 minutes, great. Probably won't. It'll probably take you more like 20-30 minutes, but, you know, I don't want you just summarizing the game, because, like I said, a review should help me decide whether or not I would be interested in the game. If you just told me the whole game, it doesn't matter whether or not I'm interested in it, because I can't get it now, because you just spoiled the whole thing. It's just, you gotta handle this stuff properly, man. You read a review, you know, everybody makes fun of IGN, haha, but you go to IGN, read a review. You know what the review doesn't do? It doesn't tell you exactly what happens in the game. You know what it does? The walkthrough. The IGN walkthrough guide. Here's what I'm going to say. A summary has more in common with a walkthrough than a review. Okay? A summary has more in common with a walkthrough than a review. You can do a summary and then have a review component attached to it. But if your video is called a review, the main content of your video should be the review. It shouldn't be a summary and then in the last 4 minutes you do a recap where you actually do a review. You should just do a review. You shouldn't take the game, record everything, and then write your script following the structure of the game unless there's really a reason for it, which most of the time there is. Sometimes there is. Sometimes there absolutely is. Mostly in terms of like critique and analysis, there definitely is that opportunity. The strongest critiques, though, probably don't do that. They kind of just critique things in order of importance, you know. I'd say that. Well, I'd say something, but I don't know how this elevator works. I don't know my Apple, man. Oh, I don't want to upset anybody, because a lot of people are guilty of this, and it's not like it's a big offense. But you got to remember, like, if I'm watching a review, if you made a review and I'm watching it, because I want to learn something about the game. If I'm not learning anything about the game, if you are just summarizing summaries and reflection pieces have very different goals, and I have a different goal when I read them. So if you claim to be making a review and then I cannot buy the game after you've made your review, you can't do it. Look up a movie review, you know? You look up a movie review. Does the movie review summarize the movie? No, absolutely not. I think it's just because games are different than movies. People think that when they do a review, they're supposed to be summarizing the thing. I mean, who's like really old out there? You look at like the Angry Video Game Nerd. He doesn't do that sort of stuff, you know? In his old videos, he would pick something that's really dumb about the game and he would make fun of it. He wouldn't just go throughout the story of a game and explain to you everything that happens. He's talking about the game. He's not talking about the story, man. I'm really, like, I'm not really paying attention anymore. I'm getting locked in a room with a bunch of guys who have rocket launchers, so don't call me out for this right now. I'm just, like, goofing. You know what I mean? When people make an entertainment piece, it makes sense to follow the story of the game, the chronological order of the game. You're telling a story about your progression throughout the game and this crazy thing that happened. It's so funny, haha. You're entertaining people. So you talk about what you did at the beginning of the game, and then and you talk about what you did at the end of the game. So I think because a lot of people, or they pick up this hobby because they watch other people do it, right? Problem is the other people who did it, when they started watching them, they were doing reviews. Now they're not doing reviews. They're doing entertainment pieces, and that's what's dangerous, I think. Actually, so this thing with the Raiden situation, with the parrying thing, I wanted to... Oh, that's how you do this. Okay, you follow the thing. So originally what I wanted to do was I wanted this to be a part of another video. I was making this video at one point. I think I had titled it, I think it was going to be called About Video Games. So this kind of has just been sitting around for a while. This commentary on Metal Gear Rising. You don't even have to... Okay, let's fight this guy because I feel like it. Okay, my health's at 114. Let's see if I'll even take a single hit. Other than a projectile. Okay, look, watch this. Bam, blocked. Destroyed! Look at that. Done. I destroyed his arms. Let's go. Look, now he's distracted. He can't even hit me. My health is still at 114, except there's a guy out the window who's about to shoot me. Okay, wait. Oh, look, he's dead. Super tough enemy. Destroyed. Destroyed. Like he's nothing. Like he's nothing. Bam. Stole his health. Done. Gonzo. Oh, the sliders are in the area. You gotta go riding. Oh no, what I gotta do? What is this crap? What? What is this? Men can't even hurt me, for I can dodge as I attack, and I can block as I move, and I can just, you just can't do anything to me. Wow. This is fun, huh? This is a fun game, huh? This is fun. Look, I'm playing. Look, I'm playing a video game. Look, I'm playing a video game. Look, I'm playing a game. Look, I'm playing a game. Look, I'm playing a game still. Look at this guy. He doesn't even know how good I am at this game. He doesn't even understand. Like, he can only attack and block separately. Oh, they had a guy with a rocket launcher. Not that I care, because I'm completely impervious to all of your attacks! And I think we're going to end the video with that. Thank you for watching, everybody. Oh, this guy's a rocket launcher. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. And that's about it. See ya.